Everyone, welcome back. My name is Connie. If you're new here, you're very much welcome. This is Mzansi All's Diary, Justice Unmuted. So where we talk about a lot of stuff, mainly South Africa and Australia. So now we're going to look at this testimony by Shadrack Sibiya at Mandanga Commission of Inquiry. The moment he opened up his mouth, you could tell that we're now entering to uncharted territory. I think uncharted territory of just talking about, politics. We've moved away from keeping South Africans safe into politics. And I just wonder why we have someone like him in SAPS. Everyone has their own political opinion in their workplace and whenever they are, because they're people, we are people. But once politics appointment becomes political and it becomes a cadre appointment, it's got a really bad consequences. Doesn't turn out to be a good one for citizens. And it's not surprising that Sibiya hasn't been that great in his current role.
It's definitely a complex topic, and I hear your concern. When roles that should be about public service get tangled with politics, it's easy to lose sight of the actual mandate. At the end of the day, most people just want competent leadership focused on safety and service delivery, not political battles. It's fair to scrutinize whether appointments, no matter who makes them, are benefiting the citizens. So you're opening up a needed conversation, even if it's a bit thorny. Let's hope it encourages people to demand a focus back on service, not political camps.
Correct. So Sibiya, mentioned MK marching at head office. It refers to when they were trying to protest, in Toy in the streets.
Absolutely, and when grievances lead to street-level demonstrations, it shows how intertwined politics and public safety can become. I guess what stands out is whether the response to those protests and any political tension is handled impartially. People want to feel that law enforcement or public officials aren't leaning toward any political camp. So, the frustration you're pointing out is really about fairness and trust in public institutions.
Well, not just about that, just about the fact that he went to Mandanga Commission of Inquiry for his own testimony to dispute some serious allegations that were made against him. So I was a bit taken back why he brought MK Party there. That was a bit stunning to me, that for a man who's accused of serious misconduct while in public office, he's been suspended for good reason, and he's now engaging with more tackling political issues, political battle, for a role that is not a political role. So it's not a political appointee. That took me backwards about that. So he says that he's been tackled politically. He positioned himself as a political victim. Well, you could ask yourself how you are a deputy national police commissioner, for God's sake. And they're also going on about this mounting pressure to push him out of office for good reason, not for political reason. When you look at these allegations against him, if proven to be correctly, so he said he's done nothing wrong. So really, from the minute he spoken up, the minute he opened his mouth, it was all about political targeting rather than administrative discipline.
Chair, exactly what I read. We must take everything that I read here And if we were to put a table and divide it into two, these allegations make the modus operandi the same way. And you put it on the left, on the right hand side, it's the same thing. Who marched against me? Or I want to put it this way: my advocate want me several times to say, "Stop asking questions. You answer, not ask." What happened is that when there was this thing when crime intelligence was heads were arrested, divisional commissioner, and then information was heard, and there was a newspaper article that says the national commissioner was going to be arrested the following week. Then comes the press conference, but of importance that I want to mention, there was a march that was planned in KZN. There was a march that was planned in KZN by MK Party.
Sorry, General. You said divisional commissioner. You did not mention the section. Divisional commissioner for what?
Crime Intelligence, Lieutenant General Kumalo.
Thank you.
And 6 others, his colleagues, they were arrested. And I didn't even know for the reasons why they were arrested. Even now, I do know it was mostly mentioned about the employment of a brigadier, but apparently there are many other charges as the reports of the IGI. But what concerns me the most, Chair, is the fact that there was a march that was planned in KZN by MK Party. And MK Party, they were saying the march is about the fight in general, the fight against crime in general, and also crime against women, GB violence, and then also in support of General Mkhwanazi. Then the National Commissioner, General Masemola, calls me and he sends me to KZ and he says to me, I want you to go and receive the memorandum there. He calls me to his office. I said, okay, I will go because he's a National Commissioner and I'm a Deputy National Commissioner. I can't say no. He relies on us. I said, I will go. But he knew and understand the relationship that I have with General Mkhwanazi, that the relationship is not well at all. But he sends me there to KZN to go and receive the memorandum. So now, I then said, okay, let me organize protection for myself. I asked for 4 members of Special Task Force and NIU, and I said I will leave here with them to the airport. I was expected to be on stage at 10 o'clock. I will leave with there in the morning. I'm not going to sleep there. I will leave here in the morning. And then when we get there, we'll be waiting somewhere at the hotel. And then from there, just 1 minute to 10, I will be on stage. And then I'll receive the memorandum. And then I'll just tell them that the memorandum is well received and that I will pass it to the seniors. Thank you very much, and leave. Then the spokesperson came and said, National Commissioner, but why this drama? Why do you send General Sibiya there when you know that General Sibiya's relationship with General Mkhwanazi is not so well? And then because now you're creating an unnecessary drama, and the National Commissioner listened to the spokesperson. He then said, no, it's okay, you don't have to go. Then the march was cancelled. But it was MK Party that was marching there. Now,
General, when was this?
It was sometimes last year. Just that much is there. There's a record. I'll get the date. I've got paperwork in my.
It was after the press conference of July 6th.
I think so. It was after the press conference.
Okay.
Now, I just don't want to lose my trail of thought, because if I begin to think of the date, I'll provide paperwork. I have it. The National Commissioners, then the march was cancelled. Now, as the march was cancelled, MK Party is the one. Now that goes and open a criminal case against me and the minister for defeating the ends of justice in relation to 121 dockets. I'll still get to the 121 dockets issue for attempting to defeat or for defeating the ends of justice. MK Party. Then from there, I had to go and account before the MK Party in Parliament. Then I raised a concern and say, but Mr. Chair, I'm sitting here having to come and account to the nation, but the MK Party opened a case against me, and I have to face them and let them ask me questions. Fine.
Are you talking about the ad hoc committee?
Ad hoc committee.
Okay.
And
that committee is made up of multiple parties.
I know. I know. But I raised that concern only specifically in relation to the MK because there was a Honorable Squasana there who is the one who went and opened the case against me. I said, but do I have to stand before him now and account before him? Because all I was being asked was humiliating questions. I was being humiliated publicly, undermined throughout, even after I testified. Every witness that came, you listen to the MK Party, how they are humiliating me, how they are speaking down upon me. Not only them though, but even when a question doesn't need Sibiya, they will say, you're speaking like Sibiya, or there was one general here who came here, he said 1, 2, 3, 4. Even it's a different witness, but I was the one that is being attacked the most. Now, I was just raising this point of the MK Party issue now. Now, MK opened a case against me. The same MK statement is being used by a Brigadier Kunena to apply for a search warrant when my house was raided. The same MK is the one that also came and marched against me at head office. As I'm sitting in the office, you hear people toying in the street, this MK Party. That's it. And then you get TikTok messages that say, you touch Mkwanazi, you touch us, you'll see another July Andras you've never had. There were such messages that will come. Now, here I'm sitting with a situation where I'm being tackled politically as well. As much as there are allegations on the 121 dockets, but there's so much pressure mounting on me, being pushed out of office when I've done nothing wrong. So now, let me pause so that I don't go deeper. But I want to say, Chair, let me put this once and for all at rest. Who fired me when we were all removed? It was Minister Nhleko, who is now the MK Party. I don't know his rank there, his level there. It was the President Zuma who was there. Now, all of a sudden, you also get the leg that comes from city of Joburg. General Mkwanazi was advised to go to the city of Joburg and also go collect some information on me. Who is the chief whip in MK Party? Miss Colin Makube, who was the speaker in Parliament, in city of Joburg. Now, General Mkwanazi goes there, speak to a gentleman whom we investigated in different cases, and they then caused this member to make a statement. I don't want to say a derogatory statement, but it was a statement where you see this man is clearly undermining you and speaking ill of me in all respect, belittling me the possible way he can. Now, he says that I'm here to support General Mkwanazi. He came to see me. And he also acknowledged that I have got a personal relationship with Colin Makubela, Miss Colin Makubela in MK Party. Now, to me, this whole thing is political still. Let me proceed. I just wanted to put that part
Thanks. You're at,
so that it remains.
You're at paragraph 49, the public protector investigation.
Public protector.
Yeah. He connects key individuals to MK party, to this MK party. And he was connecting the former Minister Ntleko, now alleged aligned with MKP, according to him. The former President Jacob Zuma, the city of Johannesburg leadership, MKP chief with Colin Makubela. Yeah, so he kind of like suggested there was a coordination, implying that a directive to collect information about him, a statement obtained from someone previously investigated, and then that person came out. That was that Pakistani nationals that he referred to as a Pakistani national. He referred to this individual as Imran Butt, that as a alleged kidnapper. So what we really heard from Shadrack Sibiya is that he didn't provide any evidence for the allegations, any evidence of political interference. He also did not provide any contextual link to unrest threats. All right, he did not. So Sibiya, sort of is alleging that political interference and intimidation linked to MKP structures, including coordinated reputational attacks and pressure tactics, reminiscences of the July 21 unrest rhetoric. Very interesting that he actually sort of used the July unrest referencing rhetoric in line with what we've heard from the DA. If you not the DA, a lot of the MPs, especially what's her name? I forgot her name. Was going on about Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi's July statement as this was a coup loading based on what Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi was wearing. So I was a little bit taken back by that, because the uniform that Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi was wearing is a special force uniform. South Africans know the difference between a military uniform and Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi is not a military. See, there's never been a police force able to do a coup. Coup is done by military, not by police. So that logic is a bit dumb, very stupid actually, to say that someone who's wearing a uniform that they've earned through policing, now that uniform is going to be turned and framed that it was a coup loading. But this statement from this Sibiya, who is very much linked to the DA, he goes on and says that coordinated reputational attacks and pressure tactics, reminiscences of the July 27, 2021 unrest rhetoric. So he's trying, without evidence, to link what has been made public by the Lieutenant General Police Commissioner of KZN, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, around the infiltration of the big five cartels, the criminals, into the entire law enforcement, including judiciary. So instead of doing that and avoiding to look at that, he wants to frame it somehow. He wants to politicize this issue. I've had problem with that, with those DA MPs, including some of the ANC and the other PA politician yourselves, politicizing these issues. This issue that's to do with judiciary, to do with law enforcement, doesn't need to be politicized. The minute you politicize something, you lose your argument. You just lose your argument, okay? It's not about politics, so we just say goodbye to you, because you do not really give us something. Because politics really, as you can, for listener, there's not much reasoning. It's a lot of spin. So you can't just use a platform like the committee that investigating these allegations to advance your political ideology. And it's what unfortunate what I've seen from the DA, from the PA, from some of the ANC, some of the that they've just been there advancing their own political messaging rather than taking these allegations seriously. And it's for good reason, because some of these politicians that are there, we know now that a lot of them are mingled with these people. A lot of them spend time with them. A lot of them engages them. So, I mean, you could ask yourself, is this a personal relationship with benefits? What's going on there? So it's yeah, that's what struck me from the bit when he spoke, was that wow, now we are entering into another territory.
Public protector
So
investigation.
maybe before you do that, just so that things are not left hanging, are you going to come? Maybe let me ask first this question. You've described what you say is the role of the MK party. Is that what you were referring to much earlier in your statement when you spoke about continuing political interference? Or are you still going to be saying more? That's what you were referring to?
Yes.
Okay. And
Because,
then, yes, Kira?
thank you very much. Because this is what I'm going through, and then now I don't know whether to bring this point at this point in time or at a much later stage. But what worries me is that, you see, when you look at all the provincial commissioners, no one you will see on social media. No one is being spoken about on social media. They don't have followers because they were not allowed to be on social media as policemen. But you've got this one provincial commissioner who's on social media every day. Now, you've got political parties fighting to have him. He's supported by MK. Then you also have, I spoke to one MMC who was asking me what is going on. Allow me not to mention the name, Chair. He was asking me what is going on in this thing. We want to understand this thing. And I said, I explained, and I said, you know what, the problem is that even though we see what is happening, the problem is that in KZN, when you get heard speaking against General Mkwanazi, then you see people beginning to have some clicks and distancing themselves from the party. Now, we've got this person who's got social media following, a lot of them. I'm told that there are many thousand accounts on social media. Now, you've got...
Does General Mkwanazi have his own accounts, social media accounts, or does he have a presence on social media through posts by other people?
Commissioner,
because if it's the latter, you cannot expect him to have control over that.
Commissioner, I must say, directly or indirectly, there's no way he's not involved. For simple reasons.
No, can you answer? Does he have his own social media accounts? Yes or no?
I don't know about that, Commissioner.
So I'm not sure that it's fair then to make the point that you appear to be trying to make. Because he has no control over what other people post about him.
May I respond, Commissioner?
Yes, please.
Commissioner, I'm responding to you, not in argument, but I want to ask the Commissioner to please bear with me. Let me put my point, and I do know, Commissioner, that I'm putting it with respect. And where the Commissioner says to me, but I don't agree with you, I will then keep quiet. Commissioner, if this is the case that he does not have control over what people say about him,
I don't know. I'm just asking. Yeah.
Yes, I'm responding to Commissioner.
Yes.
It cannot be that it is only about General Mkwanazi, not any other provincial commissioners, because many commissioners If you ask them who's the provincial commissioner of Northern Cape, people won't know. But what I want to say is that all the pictures, all the photos, whether it's camouflage, whether everything that is happening on a daily basis about General Mkhwanazi is on social media. And then when you say something here, when I sit here and say something, whether it was on radio or on TV or an interview, whatever, the many attacks that I get, it's a lot coming from the same direction. And then the excuse that says, I'm not on social media and I'm not the one and I'm not responsible, I don't agree with that notion. But I can leave it there, Commissioner. This is where I will leave it. But what I want to say is that social media has been...
Sorry, just before you go on, I just want to clarify this, because what you're saying, you are, in response to the chair's question, you're saying that you don't agree, but you're speculating that there's something more to it, that the social media posts, the numerous posts on social media that are in favor of General Mkhwanazi and against you is orchestrated somehow. But you are speculating.
No, I'm not speculating.
You have evidence.
Well, let's take yesterday. What happened yesterday? There was a Mr. Mutivedi who was talking about the involvement of the PKTT that harassed him, that planned to kill him, that searched him with a fraudulent search warrant. This whole thing is now all over social media. His explanation, everything about him gets immediate attention.
Do you want to go there? Because I saw that in the news, and my understanding is that there's either litigation or threatened litigation that relates to that. Do you want to go there?
I will stop, Commissioner.
Perhaps you go back to Ms. Hassan's question. As I understand it, what she's asking is, you've said that that all these favorable social media activity in favor of General Mkhwanazi, there's something going on there. And Ms. Hassan was really asking you, do you have facts or evidence in support of what you're saying, or you're speculating that General Mkhwanazi may have something to do with it? And I haven't heard you answer that direct question.
It's just that, Chair, I know I'm not speculating. It is the case. But the simple question is, do you have the account name? Do you have the account number? Do you know this? I won't have it. I don't have it. But why I'm saying that, I have been given names to say this person who's responsible for General Mkhwanazi's social media are the following, or is this one. I have that name, but up until I also have evidence or proof, I cannot sit here and say, here is this name. But I do have it.
I think the point lies in the last thing that you say, that you don't yet, at least, I'm happy to put in the word yet, you don't yet have proof of what you have been told by somebody, that there is this person who's in charge of that account. You don't have proof, and I think you've just said that right at the end.
Let me accept it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe before you go further, let me ask another question, which was a clarification question. You said that earlier on, you said General Mkhwanazi was advised to go to City of Joburg to get information about me. When you say what, and that's where you left it, do you know for a fact, and are you able to give a name who advised him, one, and two, what was the information that he was advised to go and get about you?
Reading from the statement of, and I'm sure if commissioners will listen to Mesuli Mlandu's testimony at the ad hoc committee, he did mention where he spoke specifically about General Mkhwanazi coming to see him. And also the fact that he's got a relationship with Ms. Colleen Makubele. And to me, what a coincidence that now, all of a sudden, because there's also Ms. Colleen Makubele there, now the city of Joburg's, some issue also is being brought into the fore.
Yeah, General, can I just stop you there? You've said that this witness from City of Joburg, in his statement, he says that General Mkhwanazi came to see him. That answers part of what I wanted I was asking for clarification on. The earlier part of it is where you say he was advised. And my question is, you know for a fact that he was advised, and by whom? If you could just answer that part.
I think when you listen to Mesuli Mlandu talking and say that General Mkhwanazi contacted me and came to see me, logically speaking, tells me that he cannot wake up one day and also then go to the city of Joburg and go and look for information about General Sibiya. And when, in fact, already Mesuli Mlandu said, I've got a personal relationship with Colleen Makubele.
So we know that the Democratic Alliance, which is the DA, they often frames ANC-aligned factions as captured and Zuma-aligned structures as destabilizing, like MKP as destabilizing. July 21 unrest as political engineered. So now when you compare that to the Sibiya's language, saying that political pressure being pushed out, linking individuals across institutions, referencing July unrest messaging, suggesting a coordinated information gathering. That is structural similar rhetoric. Would you agree?
I'm right there with you. When the rhetoric echoes familiar political narratives, it can start to blur the line between genuine administrative accountability and political framing. That's why stepping back to untangle what's fact-based versus what's politically charged is key.
When Sibiya links his house raid, protest, TikTok unrest warnings, that people were warning him on TikTok, if he touched Mkhwanazi, he will see something bigger than July 2021 unrest. If he links the former officials now aligned with MKP, I think he's really constructing a narrative, a political intimidation that is tied to MKP aligned structures, which is what you've heard a lot from these DAs. The DAs is very known for that. The DA, the VF Plus, the PA, to align anything that's to do with that with MKP. That mirrors opposition party framing more than someone who is bureaucratic neutrality, someone who's from as a police officer. It mirrors that opposition party. So it makes me feel like this is someone who's been given a role of being where he is, just because he's linked to certain political party. And we now know that he failed competency. He shouldn't be there where he is because he failed competency exam. Alright, he failed it, so he shouldn't be there. That's what I think.
Your perspective makes a lot of sense. When someone in a key public role starts sounding like a partisan figure, it can raise doubts about impartiality. If competency and neutrality are compromised, it's natural to question the appointment. Ultimately, public service roles should be about serving everyone, not reinforcing political narratives, so it's great you're encouraging your audience to think critically about that.
Yeah. Thanks for that. So that was the day one, but his testimony was so long. It took about 2.5 days just to go through his statements. And I think it was strategy for him from his part to avoid being asked about very serious allegations against him. I mean, I find this is even dumb for not going through that. If you are innocent, you would want to clear your name. You would want to go through those serious allegations. At this point, we haven't dealt with those serious allegations against him. Alright, so he has avoided those to clear his, at least to provide his point of view. He has failed to provide his point of view on allegation. Instead, he resorted to body shaming, say, some SAPS official had BBL, they couldn't drive, they couldn't sit. Seriously? What? I was shocked actually. I'm actually shocked that SAPS, South African Police Services, we have police officers that are doing BBLs.
It sounds like a frustrating detour from what should have been a serious, straightforward defense. When someone's facing real allegations, staying on topic and addressing the substance should be priority.
Yeah, it should be a priority. I mean, why? Why is it? I was stunned by that. I'm actually so embarrassed by the fact that they talk about this BBL in the police force. I associate policing with physical strength, speed, fitness, not some BBL. Now turn the police force into Kardashian.
I get your frustration. People expect law enforcement to focus on professionalism and public service, not personal distractions. At the end of the day, people want to see integrity, competency, and accountability from their leaders.